Hello and welcome back to Here We Tow. Today I'm going to get a bit of a speaking part, so stay tuned for that because this is going to be awesome. We're having a quick look at our used motorhome. We've had it for a little while now and we thought we'd bring a video just about a little bit of an update as to what we've found, how we've found it, what we've experienced, what we can pass on, and just some bits and pieces that may be helpful. So we thought that we would start with
the fact that, yes, we've had our used motorhome for 5 or 6 weeks now and we love it. So that's the end of the vlog. See you in the next one.
spoiler over,
yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, no, so we've had it 5 or 6 weeks.
Yep.
And we love it. We're really, it's a bit of a cat amongst the pigeons, isn't it, in a way? Because the idea was obviously our new motorhome, the DL, is delayed. So we had a chat and we decided to buy a used motorhome from John at Cara, where we're getting the DL, which obviously we've covered that in a previous vlog. You weren't convinced, were you, Jules?
Not initially. I had a bit of a, I've said in the previous vlog, I've had a bit of a head and a heart moment. So my head was saying sort of, no, this is probably not a good idea because it's just a bit of a stopgap. What if something happens in that time? All that sort of thing going on. And my heart said, do you know what? Life's for living. Just get out there, do it. You know, monkeys to it, if you like. You've got to live life because otherwise you'd spend all your life sat inside, waiting for that bus to knock you down when you get outside. That's never going to happen. Yeah. So you've just got to seize the day. Carpe diem.
So we got this Coral, which is a 690 SC. We've still got to do a review on it. That will be coming. We've just sort of been waiting for some nice weather to film it. And also when we're on the trips, we've been filming the trips. So we've got to balance up filming trips and actually enjoying our time away, which when we're filming, it's sort of that balance is swayed a bit away from us enjoying our time away. So we do still have to do that. So this motorhome, well, last year we had a 6 metre long motorhome, didn't we?
Yeah, that was the 520 ST,
the
Matrix.
Yeah, and from that we realised that we couldn't, well, I personally couldn't sacrifice a fixed bed, and we did agree on that, really, didn't we, in terms of practicality. We weren't as bothered about the separate shower and toilet, although that was a bit more of a compromise for you, wasn't it, with you being bigger. So our DL is 7 metres long, the one that's coming. It's 7 metres long. It's narrower than this SC. It has a combined shower and washroom, but it does have twin beds at the back that will convert into one large double. So this, though, the 690 that we've got, this was a bit of a step up in terms of size. This motorhome is 7 metres and 38 centimetres long. It's 2.3 metres wide, but it's got some absolute benefits to it, hasn't it?
Oh, absolutely. We've found that this, well, you said it right from the get-go, this is our perfect layout. And the size was what concerned you, wasn't it, initially? Just being that little bit longer.
Yeah, well, when we had the little 6 metre, we could just park in normal parking bays. We didn't have any issues, really. I can't think of one trip with the 6 metre where we struggled to park or go in it. We knew when we went up to 7 metres, we weren't going to be fitting in bays and there'd be a little bit more work around researching parking. When we've gone up to this one, just under 7.4 metres, I was concerned that we were going to struggle to find parking spaces, especially when places are busy, which they are now. People can get back out. So in terms of the size of it, we've had several trips around sort of the southwest coast, various places. Parking, we've covered the parking in the vlogs that we've done. We've done all right, haven't we, to be fair?
Really well.
We've either found somewhere where we can get the overhang, or we've bought 2 tickets for parking bays. So what we've been doing is just sort of researching parking before we've gone anywhere, really.
It has gone back to a little bit more research. Probably a little bit more than you wanted to do, maybe. I don't know, but
I don't mind. But yes,
looking for nicer roads to go in on, because there's obviously, as you know, sort of down south, there's a lot of narrow country lanes, and this is quite a wide motorhome, and the wing mirrors stick out and they protrude that little bit more.
It's
so
the wing mirrors,
that was a concern, and that was a concern as well with the little Matrix, because even though it was short in length, it was still
It was
as
as
wide
wide
as
as this one, yeah.
because of the back and because of the wing mirrors. So I did have concerns with that, but
Yeah.
at the moment, not a problem.
Yeah.
Not a
And
problem.
I think what I found I've done more now is when I'm booking sites, I'm looking more for sites that are either right in there in the action where we can just walk to whatever we want to do, or I'm thinking more about cycle routes because we do have the electric bikes. Bit harder with Fudge because he is not fit enough to run alongside us. He's too old for that. Or I'm looking at sort of public transport and stuff like that because we don't have a small car. We're not touring like that. We are touring just with the motorhome. But yeah, so far we've really enjoyed it, haven't we? It's just a
Absolutely.
little bit more planning. Whereas with the 8 foot wide caravan, the thoughts were more around towing in and getting there. And that was quite a stressful part often of the journey was the towing with the width of the Adria being 8 foot wide. There was a lot more planning went into that. I'd say about arrivals and even swinging into sites because we were so long. The caravan was 8.24 meters long. The car's nearly 5 meters, so we were massive.
Almost the same size as HGV.
But swinging into gateways and stuff, it wasn't at times it was quite stressful. So the motorhome in that respect is easy, isn't it? But yeah, so that's the length of it.
And
Now,
I've just got to say as well, for anybody who's watching who are caravanners, we haven't totally gone off the grid with caravanning. It's just at this moment in time, this is so much more our style of holidaying.
yeah, the weekends away.
With doing videos as well, and being able to use this as a base to travel to places to get some content and bits and pieces. And we turned up the other night. I finished work at a given time on Friday. We literally jumped in this. We were straight where we wanted to
We
be.
went to Longley, didn't
Yeah,
we?
we
It was
pulled
a
onto
2 hour
the
drive.
pitch, and literally people were already set up and ready there. We would have then had to have levelled it off if we were in a caravan, motor movered it, done everything else with it. And this we just literally pulled onto the pitch, and we were ready to sit down with friends and enjoy ourselves. And that to me was massive. That was quite
It's a massive
big...
time saver. And then this is like the conversation we had about what's best for you. It's what is best for you. And this right now is best for us, and we've found that straight away.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah,
so the length's
absolutely.
not a problem. That's fine. But I think the 7, I don't know, will the 7 meter? I think once you go over 7 meters, I'm not so sure length makes a huge difference as long as you can get in 2 parking bays. Layout wise, now this has got the island bed at the back, fixed bed, island bed, huge bed. That's been great, hasn't it? We're really enjoying the fixed bed. That's definitely
Again,
the
full
right
review
choice.
coming
Yeah.
shortly.
What we have found is it has got a separate shower on one side and toilet and washroom on the other. That's been excellent because
Yeah.
obviously the facilities have been closed, so we've been using the onboard facilities. Having the separate ones is really what we like, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now the DL has it all in one. That'll be our compromise on that motorhome, and it'll be interesting to see how we adapt to use that space. I probably won't have much of an issue. Jules being big, the shower, that's your concern, is fitting in the shower in the DL.
It is, and we've looked at this now, and my first question was, can we push it up to a Coral?
Yeah, and do you know what? Seriously, like obviously we've got the DL on order. It's a Compact Supreme DL. Adria, in terms of the Coral, which is the newer model. This is the Coral, but the new Coral that came out for 2021 for this year. They don't do this exact layout anymore. In terms of we've got like a little bench seat here and then an L shape here. This is a really good lounge actually. The Coral now you can get it in instead of the SC, it's the DC, which has got the 2 bench seats. So it's got a longer bench seat there and a longer bench seat here, but then the layout is practically identical. And I must say, knowing what we know now, I would not be put off buying that Coral. The only thing is, it's about an extra £10,000 more than the DL, so we couldn't afford that motorhome. But if we could afford it, I think we might go for that now, knowing what we know. I'm not.
It's all a learning curve, and as you know, we're new to motorhoming,
Yeah.
and we've we've really
we've
of
learnt a
put
lot
the cat
very
amongst the pigeons
yeah,
with.
but we've learnt a lot very quickly, I think, because we've just well, we're not daft and we've thrown ourselves into it, and we've had loads of little trips, and I think that's really helped. And we're we're confident. We feel confident with what we're doing, and also we're not afraid to ask as well. And we've had some good input from experienced motorhomers, and I think that's quite valuable. Is obviously take on board what they say. So in terms of the layout, we have discovered that this layout is excellent.
Yep.
We've got a huge tower fridge freezer. Now, we're not going to get that on the DL. We're going to get a smaller one. I think we'll miss a bit of the fridge freezer space.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it's a compromise. Other than that, another thing we found, which has been really, really interesting, we always had Alder wet central heating in our Adria Caravan.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the Isonzo we had Alder. Now, bear in mind, before we bought our first caravan, we'd no experience of Alder or Truma air-blown heating, so we didn't really have much of a comparison. We did have a few caravan loans that had Truma air-blown, didn't we? So we did experience it in a caravan. What we really liked about Alder was, well, it's got pros and cons, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what we found is in the caravan, when we arrived on site from obviously coming out of storage, if it was cold, it'd take a couple of hours for the caravan to heat up. Even if you whacked it up, it still takes, the fluid's got to heat up, the air's got to circulate. So it always took a few hours, didn't it?
Even trying to force it through on gas and electric.
Yeah, it didn't make a massive difference.
No.
It would, from very cold, it'd be a few hours. But once it was
going,
warm...
and the heat was in the pipes.
It was brilliant, and it was a lovely dry heat. Not, and I don't mean that like with an air blown. I don't mean that's not a dry heat, but it was just like a nice dry heat that you get at home. And because the caravan stayed on a pitch, it didn't matter. You could just leave that on running, go out, do whatever. Brilliant. Downside of Alder is obviously you have to have your fluid changed. The pink fluid, it's every 5 years. That's a bit of added expense, but that was the bonus of it.
And like a full sort of boiler service,
yeah.
really, having that
and
sort of that system in there.
Yeah.
But what we found as well was to heat the caravan up from cold, to get rid of that not damp, but when it's been sat there,
yeah, it is almost a damp feeling
to try and get it back to somewhere that you can sleep and lie down and not feel cold from the start. It took a while. It did take a while.
The motorhome has Truma air blown. Yeah. Now, some motorhomes, you either get the choice if you want to upgrade to Alder. Some of them top end come with Alder already, and you don't have any choice in it. So this one's got Truma air blown. And I think, for me, Jules will tell you in a minute what he thinks, but for me personally, what I really like about the Truma is, although when we're driving, we've got the heaters on, so it's heating the sort of a bit of the area anyway, but once we pull up, we turn on the air blown, and within minutes, we've got lovely hot air coming out through the vents. It's heated the back of the motorhome, it's heated the toilet, and all through here, and everywhere's warm. And then when we go away for the day, because obviously we drive then off the pitch, we've been down to when we've gone to the coast, we've had some pretty cold days, and when we've come back to the motorhome after 3 hours walking on the seafront, we've then driven back to site, and again we just turn the air blown on, and it's warm again within minutes. We've not got that delay, and I just wonder if Alder, because we're going off, coming back, you're going to have to wait for that system to heat through again. So that's been interesting. So although air blown would not be my first choice in a caravan, I think air blown would be my first choice in a motorhome. What do you think, Jules?
Interesting. No, I've found exactly the same. I'd say the only thing, everything like we say all the time, everything comes with a compromise. The only thing is it's a little bit more noisy.
Yeah.
And because it is air blown, the positive is also the negative. It heats up very quickly, but it cools off and needs to heat up again quite quickly. So one good thing, and I can't say it about any other manufacturer because I haven't tried their motorhomes, but the insulation on this is fantastic. So I must say, once it is up to temperature, it does hold the heat very, very well. The only thing we do need to do is get some silver screens. I think that'll make a big difference for us, because I think we lose a lot of heat through the glass.
Yeah, and I know we're going more into, excuse me, summertime now, hopefully. I'm not sure where the summer's gone, to be fair, but we had some really nice weather in April and then it sort of went off a cliff. But yeah, so we have used the heating, haven't we, quite a bit? And yeah, like that's a really good point. When it clicks off, because there's no residual heat, like the alder fluid remains warm, so you still get that nice warmth. It just, poof, it's like turning off a hairdryer, isn't it? Noise-wise, it hasn't been overly noisy. And the good thing is,
I'd say it was no more noisy than the pump
on
on
the
the
alder,
Alder.
yeah, on our
But
header tank that we
where
had.
I slept, my head was literally next to the wardrobe. So I know there has been an upgrade because some of our friends went to Alder and got a pump upgrade, and they said that was more or less silent from there on in. And
Yeah,
obviously
so there
ours
might
was a
have been
couple of years
improved.
old.
Ours was 2018. So, yeah, that was our thoughts on the heating, really. We do have the air conditioning, which was on the motorhome when we bought it. We've tried it to make sure it
I've
works,
threatened to use it a few times, but
but
we haven't really had the weather.
we're waiting for some warm weather to give it a go. But we know it works. But I'm just looking up there because that's where it is. But it'll be interesting to give that a go, and we will do a vlog about air conditioning on motorhomes because our DL will have aircon as well. Part of the show deal at Cara was an air conditioning unit, which to have that fitted, it's about £1,800. Interesting though, what we've talked about is the Truma, it's the Avante, is it Avante? I can read it on there. Avante. Yeah, it's the Avanta unit that we'll be having fitted. That only blows cold air. Now Truma do a sort of an upgraded version. I can't remember the name. Is it Comfort?
Comfort.
Comfort.
I think, yeah.
And that does cold and warm air. I think they're about £2,200 fitted, so there's a difference of £400 roughly there, depending on which model you're going for and what have you. And we considered maybe paying to upgrade to the Comfort. I don't know if that's possible. I've not even asked John at Cara, to be fair. But we were talking about that only because, although obviously the air blown's very efficient, it'd be interesting to maybe have the option of having the additional, because in the depths of winter, having that available to come out there might be something. I've read some good reports on that, so we'll see.
But then again, there's another thing, because it's electric and electric. So you'd have your Truma heating on and your aircon unit. You know, a lot of sites might struggle to be able to supply you enough power without sort of tripping out the supply. So
yeah,
you're coming into like almost having it on the 3 amp of the Alder.
Yeah, if you had a 10 amp on a pitch with 10 amps, you'd be struggling to start running several things at once.
Especially if you want a kettle.
Yeah, we've got our whistling kettle, which has been brilliant. Yeah, and Jules obviously said about getting some screens, silver screens, the exterior ones. We're going to look into that, aren't we?
Yeah.
And get some of those, definitely. Obviously for the insulation purpose and also for keeping out in summer. I'd imagine it could get quite warm with the sun coming through the windscreen. Yeah. So yeah, that's something else we are going to order some of those. There's 3 companies that I think I've looked at, and I think I know which one I'm going to go for. And I'll get those ordered. I think they're about £165 to have the ones with the vents, longer vents. I can't remember, but that'll be another vlog as and when we order those. How much? Yeah, so that's sort of where we're at really in terms of fuel economy's been very good. Do you think?
I've got to be honest. You're probably better than me because I just fill it up and go.
Well, I think we've been getting about 30 to the gallon out of it, and this is the 130 brake horsepower, 2.3 diesel. It doesn't have the AdBlue. It's a 2016 model, so we don't have AdBlue on this. The one we're getting's AdBlue, and the little Mini Matrix had AdBlue. I don't think that was as fuel efficient as this, but that was 140 brake. I think we got about 28 to the gallon out of that. This, and also we've got manual on this, but it's a nice. Do you talk?
I was gonna say, I've got to say, we've ordered the automatic, and I'm glad we have, because it's just so much easier. However, I've really been impressed with this.
It's a good gearbox.
It is. It's really good. Whereas the Matrix was quite talky, and I could feel going up and down through the gears quite a lot because it was such a small sort of power band. This the gear ratios they're totally different. It is so much better and smoother, but I've really enjoyed driving this. It's been really good,
Yeah.
both for the turning circle for such a long vehicle compared to what I'm used to driving. The how it performs sort of engine wise, and the gearbox, faultless.
Yeah.
Really, I've
No, we've
really been
been
impressed.
really pleased with it, and there has been absolutely no faults whatsoever. The build quality is phenomenal. It's a 2016. This 2016 is before, I mean, just talking about Adria, but before Trigano bought them out or took them over. And the build, it's like a tank. It's phenomenal. And a lot of people said, "Do you think you'll still get your DL?" We will, but I must say, if it didn't turn up, I would not be disappointed to have to keep this. It's it's a phenomenal motorhome, isn't it? The build, as I say, everything's so solid and it's so comfy. Really, really pleased with that. I can't really say any more than that. We've been made up, haven't we? It was a good decision.
The only thing that if I can have one criticism, the only thing is we're not keeping it, because, and what I mean by that is, I want to start doing little bits to it. I want to put little banks of trays in the garage, little pull-outs, really lightweight drawers, just put clothes in, or Fudge's ball, or bits and pieces, and just little hidey holes, just making little wicker wicker baskets that you can
putting some
you
rubber
can buy
matting
and,
down and stuff like that we'll do with ours. But
because I'd probably put some mesh as well, just that elasticated mesh just across these little opens, just to hold things in. So
yeah, I suppose it's that sort of feeling that we're now waiting for our new one, and we still don't. We don't know when that's coming. There was mention of it being middle of June, it arriving at the dealership, which is a real jump, sort of forward backwards compared to where we were in July, because it was the end of July.
At the time of filming, that's only about a month away.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah. So we've no update. We don't know whether that'll even happen. That was just, the latest update, but we're still just waiting on another update, because these things can change. But yeah, it will be a shame that this has to go back, because we really are enjoying it. But it has opened our eyes to the fact that a larger motorhome is not a problem to tour with, just the motorhome, not taking a car, but just the motorhome. And it'd be even easier with electric bikes. I think electric bikes are probably all you're going to need, really, with this. But the DL is still coming, and I am still looking forward to that, because although that's going to be a different experience, and it'll be interesting to see how we get on, yeah, it'll be narrower, which I think will make a difference for us touring the southwest, where we found width can sometimes be a bit of an issue with these wing mirrors.
Yeah, one of the things I've just thought about as well, with the new one as compared to this one, what I do like about this one that I probably will like more over the new one is the bed, because here we've got an island bed, and I keep saying it sits like a chaise longue, and then you pull the mattress up, and then it pulls out to make it just that little bit bigger.
Yeah,
that gives
you can
so
retract
much more room.
There's a lot of floor space in
the bedroom. So once we're having a shower and straight into there, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
And then I'm thinking about the new one, because they're like set single beds side by side with the middle bit, which is, we can still sort of lay as one big bed, so that'll be nice. But it'll just be different to having the island bed of being able to get out your own side. So
we'll definitely have less space, but on saying that, it is going to be easier to do the touring with. But it's one of those, I mean, we've always said, I'd rather always do something and then realise that it's not right than not do it and forever wonder. And that's why, for me, I still think the DL would be the right choice. For me personally, I'm really looking forward to the DL coming. But this has been an eye-opener. This has made me realise that going ahead in future, especially if we're doing sort of more touring in Europe or longer trips again, this layout on the Coral, or this layout on any manufacturer, this and the length, 7.4 metres, don't be frightened of it. That's what I've definitely deduced from this. Because I was a bit apprehensive, I'll admit. I thought, oh God, is it going to be too long to talk? Because we don't just want to sit. Once we arrive on site, we use this, don't we, literally every day to go off from the site each day, or then move to another site. So we wanted to make sure that it was flexible to do that, and it has been.
Absolutely.
We've had a couple of times where we've had to, like I say, do a little bit more research, but no. So our next few trips are coming up. We've got, we're going to Burnham-on-Sea. We've got, we're going down to Cornwall in a couple of weeks, just for a weekend. Again, the benefit is we can just shoot off. So we've got a little Cornwall trip. We're going to Cheddar Gorge. We're going there. And then we are heading to Dorset again, which we did last year. So yeah, we've got some really good little bits coming up. Loads of little trips. So hopefully you'll join us for those, and we'll keep you updated about the DL.
Absolutely.
But I just wanted to update you really about how we were with this motorhome. I know we've got to do a full review of it, and I will, because it's certainly worth a look around. If the island bed layout is something that you're considering, this layout works really well. But I'll cover more of that in the review. But yeah, we're happy bunnies, aren't we?
Absolutely.
We're really happy bunnies. Yeah.
It was a good choice, well made, and sometimes I think I'm gonna have to listen to my heart more than my head.
Yeah.
Because it was an absolute no-brainer. Really.
It's made us really happy. Like, it has made us really happy, and I'm smiling
just
now.
knowing that we've got something to go away again as well it sounds daft, but when we gave the caravan up, if somebody would have said, "Oh, we've got a weekend planned or a week planned or booked," and we just didn't have that availability to just say, "Yeah, do you know what? We fancy that. We'll have a run along." But
having this at home on the drive as well makes a big difference. And we couldn't do that with the caravan because it was just too big to try and get up here to our house. So having this on the drive's really nice.
However, saying that now, having put this on the drive, I don't know. I wonder if the caravan would have gone
another meter.
I don't
just
know. My concern was our drive. Sort of, it's quite
steep.
But when you watched, it was fine. Yeah. But I mean, the problem is getting here. It's quite narrow and tight. But that's another tale.
Yeah. So for us, it's worked out really well. We've got loads planned. We're just enjoying ourselves, aren't we? Getting away. Hopefully, you guys all are. It's always nice to see everyone's pictures on social media and updates of what people are up to when you drop me a message. It's nice to see that you're out there enjoying it. And we're meeting up with plenty of people. We're catching up with new people, aren't we? So far this year we've met some nice new people. So brilliant.
And I just want to say as well, if you've watched to here, thank you so much to everybody who has jumped on and subscribed to the channel. There's been a massive boost, and I think that's possibly down to the motorhome side. I'm not sure. I hope we haven't disgruntled too many caravanners. We are still tore our way, so we are still doing what we can for tents, caravans and camper vans and motorhomes. So, you know, we're trying to be inclusive with everything.
And that's it. As we keep saying, the caravan worked really well for us. We loved that caravan. But that time came to an end, and now we've tried something else.
Yep.
And hopefully it'll inspire other people to think, is something else right for them? And that's, you know, that's where we're at. And in years to come, who knows, we might be sat back in a caravan saying this was it now, you know, this is best for us. So it's whatever suits you at the right time. And just be happy for other people and their decisions and what they're doing. Because we've all got the same plan, and that is to go away touring and to enjoy ourselves, isn't it?
Yeah, and hopefully the same plan is to eat lots of barbecue food, drink copious amounts of liquids, whatever that may be, walking, discovering new places. And that's something else quickly that a lot of people have been messaging us, and sort of as I've been talking to people where I am, it's how much there is in the UK to discover. There's so much more to the UK.
There's loads.
And, you know, Scotland, Ireland. We'd love to do Ireland. We'd love to do Scotland, Wales. You know, it's all on our doorstep, really. And, you know, if anything, this last year and a half has really opened our eyes to what we have, and we don't have to go too far, and we can enjoy it. So
and that's what it's about, you know. Just enjoy yourself, guys, and make the most of it. You only live once, so there we go. So that's where we're at with the motorhome. We're loving this. We're waiting for the new one. All positive stuff. We're both busy working away, aren't we?
Absolutely.
Keeping ourselves out of trouble, so it's all good. So hopefully you're all okay as well. Thank you for taking the time out to watch today's vlog. That's appreciated. If anyone has any questions, queries, problems, drop them in the comments or contact us direct. We're always happy to help you guys out. best way we can.
And if you have any hints and tips and things and observations, please do whack them in the comments below so that everybody can see them, and then you never know, it might help a fellow camper enthusiast out. You never know, so it'd be good to see.
Yep. So, as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
See you in the next one, guys.